So one more time, yeah, thank you guys so much, and welcome to practice. Today's class is called Integrative Wellness. So this is our wellness class, and today is unfortunately not. It is not Friday, the 29th. Obviously, as you guys know, it is, and I'm not quite sure why that didn't get updated yesterday. It's Tuesday, June the 2nd. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that you guys are having a very lovely day today. Welcome to the practice. And just a little shout out to Dan. So nice to have you here. Gail, so nice to have you here. Amazing to have our live streaming yogis here as well. It makes all the bit of difference because as we can practice together as a community, we can help to build up our yoga together. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being here, and hope that you guys are also having a wonderful day today. If you'd like to start out, I know we were talking about essential oils. If you have any interest, I have a lavender oil here. I have lemon and peppermint. So if there's an essential oil that pulls to you, you may decide to use it. I am going to try to get you guys some of these oils. So I'm just going to use the lemon. So if you use an oil, just place it on a tissue, and you could just hold it towards the nostrils and breathe that in. And the smell really, I was reading about this in one of my manuals, and the smell really helps to kind of retrain our brain. So just even smelling that essential oil, it's a reprogramming mechanism. So it helps for us to kind of find our way into the present moment. Having it on a tissue, I think, is a much better way of utilizing the oil. I used to place it on my skin, but I've decided, because some of these oils are photosensitive, so if you go in the sun, then your skin may burn. So I chose to start using tissue, and I think that it's much easier this way. So without further ado, let us begin. So we'll find our way onto our mats, and we're going to begin with our knees bent, our feet hips width distance apart. We're going to start on our backs. You can bring over, if you'd like, that essential oil with you. See that you have a blanket, a couple blocks, and a strap, as long as you guys have those props. And then you'll come lying down onto your backs now. So I'm actually holding this essential oil to my nostrils, so you could do that. If you don't have any essential oils, this pose is called constructive rest. So this is a very popular pose in yoga practice. The feet are apart, the knees are together, the balls of the feet are pressing down, head is releasing down to the mat, and just breathing here. And once again, you can begin to smell that essential oil and breathing in and releasing here. So just breathing in that oil and releasing. Good. So the essential oils themselves, they have these properties. Actually, a lot of it's the components of the plant itself. So they use a heating process usually, and it distills the resin from the plant. It's a way of removing the resin, and then they get it into an oil. There's other ways of removing resins from plants. There's a cold distillation process that they use sometimes for plants. So all different ways of distilling these oils, and the properties of the oils are quite incredible. They are vast, and they can really have effective properties across the body. So now you're going to begin to bring your right knee into the chest. Just hug that knee in. And for those of you guys who have joined, just moving those knees wide apart and bringing those knees back together. So if anybody is tuning in right now, my name is Jason Gorenstein. This is Yoga with Jason G. This is our integrative wellness class. So we do this class every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. All classes live streaming on Facebook Live, my Facebook Live page, Yoga with Jason G, all one word. And then releasing your right foot down as you draw the left knee into the chest. You're going to revolve that left knee out to the side, right knee draws out to the side, and then drawing those knees back into center once again, allowing those legs to drift out to equal and opposite sides here. Good. And then drawing those knees in and back to center. And one more time, knees draw out to opposite sides. Very nice. Inhale, drawing those knees in. Release the left foot down. Take the right knee, in, draw the right foot over the left thigh, and just breathe here. So you could just remain here. Some of us will grab hold of the back of our left thigh and hug the left thigh in or left leg in. This is called thread the needle pose. Some of you guys have heard this pose as resting pigeon pose. For today, I'm just keeping my hands at my sides, but still letting the right outer hip open up towards the left heel. And then you just begin to oscillate those hips right and left. So if you're still holding on to the back of your left leg, you can rock the hips here, or if it's better for you, you can release that left foot down towards the mat and just rock the hips along the surface of the mat. Very good. And then you'll draw the right knee into the chest. You'll release that right leg on forward. You'll take the left knee into the chest. You'll take the left foot over the top of that right thigh, and you'll release the left thigh away from you. So as you breathe here, you can begin to just feel that left leg drawing away from the left hip. And then from here, you could draw in the back of your right leg here. So a nice little pose to really open up the hips and breathing here. Good. So draw the left outer hip towards the right heel and breathing in here, continuing to breathe in your breath. And eventually you'll release that right foot on down. You'll release the left foot on down. Good. Hug both knees into the chest here. Just rock both knees in and just begin to massage the backs of the hips once again as you move the hips from left to right a few times here. Eventually, you'll release the feet down onto the mat. As you press down through the feet, inhale, begin to peel up the pelvis here. So lift the tailbone, let the belly hug in, lengthen the backs of the sit bones all the way to the backs of the knees. And as you exhale, lower that pelvis down. We're going to do this 2 more times. So press through the tops of the feet. Inhale, peeling the pelvis up, lengthening through the buttocks all the way to the backs of the knees. Exhale, lowering that pelvis on down. 1 more time, pressing through the feet. Inhale, lengthening the pelvis up. So once again, hugging those outer thighs in, lengthening the buttocks towards the heels. Exhale, lowering the buttocks flesh all the way down. Eventually, you'll begin to rock the feet from right to left a few times. This is called windshield wiper legs. And as you do this, you just start to let your legs drift over from your one side all the way to your other side. So this is called the windshield wiper legs. Really good for the hips, really good for the low back. Eventually, you're going to roll onto your side. You're going to press your way up, and we're going to find our way into a seated position. So as you feel ready, find your way back to a seat. You could sit on a blanket. You could sit on your mat, however you sit comfortably. And then from here, if you still have that essential oil, you can bring it to the nose. I really like, lavender, I like lemon, I like peppermint. Those are my go-tos. And then from here, as you feel ready, just begin to move your shoulders, hips, and chest all in a circular manner. So as you begin to move in these circles here, feel into the spine, feel into those back muscles, continuing to breathe here. So you're moving the chest around in circles here and just letting the breath continue naturally, just moving that body around, moving the body around in circles, and eventually reversing this process. So as you feel ready, moving your body in the reverse direction. So continuing to feel as though you have that length in your spine as you continue to move around in these circles here. Very good. Eventually, as you come back to center, inhale, lengthen the chest, heart, and sternum up. As you exhale, rounding through the spine here. Good. Inhale, floating the chest, abdomen, and sternum up. As you exhale, rounding through the spine here, just releasing the chin to the chest. Inhale, floating the chest on up, lengthening the heart, chest, and sternum up. Exhale, rounding through the spine here. Very good. As you inhale, float on up again. This time, float the left arm over to the left side. Take the right arm, place it over on the top of your head. Now, place the right hand behind the back of the head. Begin to float the eyes up towards that right elbow. Inhale, float the right arm up. Drift it over towards the right side of the room. Left arm comes up, back behind the head. And then once again, drifting the head back towards that hand as you look up towards that left elbow. Reaching over across the entire body. Good. Inhale, floating that left arm up, gliding the right arm over the body. Right hand comes to the top of the head. 1 more time, lengthening the chest, heart, and sternum, and looking up at that right elbow now. Good. Sweeping that right arm over to the right side. Left arm comes back behind the head. Place the left hand back behind the head. Look up towards that left elbow. Good. Exhale, release it on down. Inhale, float both arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale here, release the hands down in front of you. Release down here and just begin to drift your chest from right to left a few times here. Just coming into this forward fold. Very nice. And then eventually we're going to walk our hands back to our knees. We're going to come up onto our hands and our knees here and eventually make our way into tabletop pose. So as you find your way into tabletop pose, spread the fingers wide apart. See that the shoulders begin to line up over the tops of the wrists and allow the biceps to rotate towards the front of the room. The triceps rotate back towards the hips. As you exhale here, begin to round the spine all the way down towards the floor. As you inhale here, begin to lengthen your chest, heart, and sternum forward and up. Good. Exhaling, curling the tailbone down underneath, letting the upper shoulders release down towards the elbows. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and up, letting the side ribs lengthen to the armpits. As you exhale, rounding the spine one more time, really feeling the middle back lifting up towards the ceiling. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and up. So this time we tuck the toes underneath. Begin to float the knees up as you press down firmly through all 10 fingers and begin to allow the thighs to drift back towards the back of the room here. Downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose here. Just begin to feel the forehead releasing down to the mat. Allow the forearms to lift up as the outer arms wrap in so that the shoulder blades spread firmly across the back. Draw the navel in towards the back of the spine and continue to feel the thigh bones drawing back all the way towards the backs of the knees. Now take your hands, walk your hands back towards underneath your feet and find your way into a forward fold here. Release the head on down. Now take your hands, cross your right thumb to your left elbow crease, cross your left thumb to your right elbow crease, and allow there to be a very light bend in those knees. Begin to feel the inner legs lifting up towards the inner thighs. Notice how the weight of the foot drifts from the inner foot to the outer foot. And as that happens, maybe the head releases a little bit more towards the mat. Take your hands to the low back here. Press down through the feet. Inhale, peel up the chest, come to standing. Good. Tadasana pose. Take the arms, lengthen the fingers out to the sides, and allow that chest to be lifted here. Good. So we're going to begin to move through some vinyasas here. So as you feel ready, float the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, lengthen through the fingers here. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Good. Inhale, peeling up the chest here, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. And as you exhale, coming back into a forward fold again. Inhale, floating the arms all the way up towards the ceiling, lengthening through the fingers here. And as you exhale, releasing the hands down to the side. So let's do that again. Inhale, float the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinging at the hips and releasing the torso down to the mat. Inhale, lengthening the chest, heart, and sternum forward. Stop here for a moment. So before you come into a forward fold again, just lengthen that chest forward. Feel your knees bending slightly. So notice that the calves, they begin to move in towards the shin bones. As that happens, the thigh bones begin to pull back towards the back of the mat. Keeping that length in the back of the spine, release the chest down towards the thighs. So it's just another way to lengthen those hamstrings. As you inhale here, take the hands to the low back, press through the feet, lift the chest up, and float the arms up towards the ceiling again. Urdhva Hastasana pose. Now take the fingers, interlace the fingers above the head, press the fingers up towards the ceiling. As you press the fingers up towards the ceiling, can you take your feet a little closer together? Maybe the feet touch, maybe they don't. As you draw the thigh bones in towards one another, begin to lean the chest over towards your right side. So see that your right chest is lengthening as much as your left chest. I know it's easier for the left chest to lengthen because that's where the upper arm is. But if you can lengthen the right side of the chest, it's also good. Come back to center here and change sides. So now as we move on to the left side, keep floating up those ribs. Allow the frontal ribs to soften as the back ribs lengthen here. Good. Spin the chest up towards the ceiling. Come back to center, and as you exhale, release the hands back down to the sides. Palms face the front of the room. Inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling again. Exhale, hinging at the hips, folding all the way forward. Inhale, lengthening the chest halfway up. And once again, pause here. Bend those knees a lot. Bend those knees a lot. Good. From here, can you take your arms and float your arms out like airplane wings? So lengthen through the chest. See if you can draw your chest forward of the arms. So the trapezius muscles are moving towards the middle back. The hip bones are continuing to draw up towards the belly button, and the back sit bones are lengthening back towards the backs of the heels. Inhale, float those arms up here, lengthen the chest up over the head. Exhale, bending the knees, hinging on forward, and taking airplane wings again. Good. This time, release the hands down towards the mat. Take your hands, place them on the shins. Inhale, lift the chest on forward. Now walk your right hand over towards your left shin and begin to spin the chest over to the left side of the room. You can take your left hand and place it on your left hip. As your left hip draws back, continue to feel your right hip, or continue to feel your left hip drawing towards your right hip. So there's evenness in the feet here. Lift the chest, lift the heart here. Maybe float the left hand up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, lower the hands down to the shins. Inhale, lengthening up halfway. Once again here, left hand this time comes to the right shin. Take your right hand, place it on the low back. So the hips are naturally drifting to the right. Can you draw your right hip over to the left? Can you lift your left side of the chest up towards the ceiling as you draw the right arm up towards the ceiling? As you exhale here, release both hands down to the mat. Again, take those hands to the low back, press through the tops of the feet. Inhale, lift the chest, find your way up to standing. Good. Take the feet wider apart. See that the feet are about hips width distance apart here. And from here, spin both feet over to the right side of the room. So now, before we do anything, you're just noticing your feet, because your feet are what's making contact with the floor. Yoga is so much about our stability. It's about our feet and what's grounded, what we find on the floor. So from here, feel both feet pressing down on the floor. Feel both inner legs lifting up. So the right buttocks draws back as the left hip draws forward. And that happens naturally. So the right buttocks keeps drawing back, the left hip keeps drawing forward, and you lean over that right leg here. That's it. Now, as you keep the left hip drifting down towards the mat, can you turn your chest up towards the ceiling? I know. And then breathe in here as you look towards your belly button. Nice. Lift the chest on up. That's a good little abdominal work right there. Turn your feet over the opposite side of the room. One more time. You're going to drift the left hip back as the right hip draws forward. So as you continue to breathe here, once again, see all that length you can create. Press that right heel down. Draw that right hip forward. Press the left ball of the foot down. Draw the left hip back. Continue now to spin your chest up towards the ceiling. So left buttocks draws in and begin to look towards that belly button. Good. Inhale, lifting up. Nice work, guys. And then step your feet together again. All right. Inhale, float those arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen halfway again. Pause. So as you lengthen here, this time, you're going to lean on forward again, except this time take your hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. See if you can draw your elbows towards one another so you can feel your trapezius muscles drawing towards those elbows. From here, maybe extend the arms up towards the ceiling. As the arms extend up towards the ceiling, wrap the outer arms in. That means that the thumb side of the hand begins to draw in towards one another. Bend those knees a lot. Bend those knees a lot. Good. So you're bending the knees in the chair and then begin to float the chest on up. So keep sinking down in chair, keep sinking down in chair, keep sinking down in chair. That's it. Inhale, float the arms up. Utkatasana chair pose. Straighten those legs and release the hands back down to the hips. Once again, let's step our feet wide apart. So the feet step wide apart here. Spin both feet over the right. One more time, hinge at that hip. One more time, hinge at that hip. So once again, the right buttocks is moving back. The left buttocks is moving forward. You glide your right hand down the leg. So keep the left hip facing the floor, but you are going to turn the left side of your chest up towards the ceiling. So the left hip is stronger here, so we keep that in line with the leg. As you feel ready, left arm extends up towards the ceiling. This is called triangle pose. Begin to draw your right shoulder away from your ear as you lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Good. Now let the left arm lift you up and out of the pose. Take the arms out to the sides. Bend into that right knee. 90 degrees here. 90-degree bend in that right knee. Good. From here, we're going to move a little bit dynamically. So float the arms up towards the ceiling. Palms touch. As you exhale, bend into that right knee and lengthen through both sides of the rib cage. Inhale, floating those arms up, palms touch. As you exhale, remember to spin the left hip forward as you press the left side of the chest back. One more time. Inhale, floating those arms up. Exhale, arms come to either side of the body. This time, release your right forearm on top of that right thigh. Left hand comes on the left hip. Again, spin the left hip down towards the mat. As you do that, you create space for your right buttocks. So the right buttocks hugs in as well. Then you can float your left arm up towards the ceiling. Now take your left arm, glide it over the head, and bend at that elbow, place it behind the left shoulder. From here, keep pressing into that left heel. If you can, lengthen the right side of the chest to the right armpit here. Breathe. Then from here, inhale, keep your arm where it is. And then lengthen the left arm up and over the head. Now take the arm up towards the ceiling. Float your arms up. Come back into Warrior Two pose. Straighten your right leg and turn both feet into center. Hands come to hips for a moment here. So we come into these resting poses, and the reason we do that is just to simply rest. We take a moment to pause, that's all. Then we spin our feet over to the other side. So this time, our left hip draws back and our right hip draws forward. So as you continue to do that, you're going to get a bunch of length in your left side of the chest. Now turn the chest up towards the ceiling, even before you release that left palm down. Left calf is moving towards the left shin, so there is a micro bend in that left knee. Left hand glides down the left shin. Right arm extends all the way up towards the ceiling. From here, you'll notice that the left shoulder hikes forward, so you need to draw the left outer arm in. The right hip continues to melt down towards the floor. The left buttocks continues to draw in towards the midline of the body here. That's it. From here, right arm lifts us up and out of the pose, and then we bend into that left knee as we take our arms out to the sides. Good. Warrior Two. Warrior Two pose. See that your left heel is in line with your right arch of the foot. So your left heel is in line with the center of your right foot. Inhale, take both arms up towards the ceiling, turn the chest to face the side of the room. Exhale, bending into that left knee, arms are at your sides. Inhale, floating your arms up towards the ceiling, lengthening through those side ribs in the chest. Exhale, floating down, arms are at your sides. Inhale, floating those arms up towards the ceiling one more time. Exhale, bending that knee, arms are at the sides. This time, bending at your left elbow and placing your left elbow on top of your right thigh. Inhale, float the right arm up. So from here, we draw the right hip down. The right side of the chest lifts up towards the ceiling. Left buttocks draws into the midline of the body. We take the right hand, extend it over the head, bend that right elbow and place it right behind the right shoulder. As you press that right heel down, begin to spin the left side of the chest up towards the ceiling. So keep bending into that left knee, keep drawing that left buttocks in. Inhale, float the right arm out, lift the right arm up, and glide the right arm up as you move into Warrior Two pose. Straighten through that leg. Once again, both feet turn in, arms extend up towards the ceiling here. As you exhale, hands come in through the center chest, release the hands down to the mat. Draw the outer elbows in. Feel the inner arms lifting up and lengthen those side ribs forward to the armpits. See that the legs continue to lift up and hug back to the back of the room. Now take your left hand, bring it underneath your center chest. Take your right hand, place it on your low back. Keep your hips level here. So the right hip has to draw to the left side of the room and begin to spin the left side of your chest to the ceiling. Inhale, maybe float the right arm up and over the head. As you exhale, lower that right hand down. Come back to center. Inhale, lengthen the chest on forward. As you exhale here, take your right hand under the center chest, lengthen the sternum. Inhale, float the left arm all the way up towards the ceiling here. That's it. Draw the left hip over to the right side of the room. As you exhale, release that hand on down. Take your hands to the hips. Inhale, peel the chest up. Okay, turn your feet in, turn your heels in, turn your heels in, turn your heels in. Bend your knees as you take your hands to the tops of your thighs. Inhale, lift the chest on up. Good. From here, extend your arms out to the sides and bend your elbows, just like this. Straighten the legs, hands come up, palms to touch. Exhale, bending the elbows and bringing the legs out to the sides. Inhale, straightening those legs, palms come to touch. Exhale, bending those knees and elbows come out to the sides. One more time, straightening those legs, palms come to touch. Exhale, bending the elbows, lifting the chest. Left elbow comes to the left thigh, right hand comes behind the back of the head. So you're spinning the chest up towards the ceiling here as you sink your right hip down. That's it. Inhale back to center. Exhale, changing sides. So the left hand comes behind the head. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. Be here for a moment. Inhale back to center again. Straighten those legs. Turn the feet in. And then now we're going to step forward on our mat and find our way into downward facing dog pose. So just step those feet back. Release the head on down and breathe here. See that the fingers are spread wide apart. See that the forearms are lifting up. Allow the trapezius muscles to move away from the ears. So those muscles at the tops of the shoulders, they're moving to the sit bones. They're moving towards the buttocks flesh. Buttocks flesh is actually lengthening to the backs of the heels here. Release the knees down to the mat. Good. Spread the fingers wide apart again. Inhale, float the right leg up and extend the right leg behind you. So the right leg is in line with the right hip. Press down through both fingers here. Wrap the outer arms in. Begin to lengthen through your left palm forward to the front of the mat. So here you have to press firmly through your right outer arm and through your left hip in order to maintain this length of both your left arm and your right leg. That's it. As you exhale, lower the left hand down, lower the right leg down. Inhale, float the left leg back, lift the left leg up. So left leg is now in line with the left hip. Ball of the foot is spinning down towards the mat. Inhale, float the right arm up. Good. See that the left shoulder is planted down on the mat. See that the right hip is planted into the hip socket. Feel the belly drawing in towards the back of the spine. As you exhale, lower the right hand down, lower the left knee down, and then from here, release into child's pose. Let the hips drift back towards the heels. Take the hands and place the hands along the sides of the body. If you feel any cramping sensation in the feet, you don't have to come down all the way, and just release down to any extent. And then from here, you'll take your hands forward of the chest. Inhale, peel on up. As you exhale, press on back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog pose. Downward facing dog pose, this time you'll float the right toes just off the floor and you'll breathe here. Notice how the weight drifts over towards the left shoulder as you lift that leg up. Can you press firmly through the left and the right arm as you lift the right foot up? Exhale, lower the right foot down. Inhale, float the left foot up. So the foot just floats up a hair off the floor. You're still pressing through the hands. You're still drawing the chest towards the thighs. You're still lifting the forearms all the way to the fronts of the fingers. Exhale, lower that foot down. Release the knees down to the mat again. From here, lengthen the left leg on back and spin onto the inner side of your left foot. Inhale, float the left arm up towards the ceiling. Vashisthasana, side plank pose. Take your left arm over the head. Place your left hand behind the back of the head and spin your chest up towards the ceiling. See that your right shoulder is sitting right below the right palm. Keep lifting through the left side of the chest here. One more time, float the left arm up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, glide that left palm down. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, press up and back for downward facing dog pose. All right, downward facing dog pose here. Just begin to lower the knees down and let them hover off the mat. So we're just going to be here for a moment. Little bit of a challenge today, that's all. Keep floating those knees. Spread the shoulders wide apart. Press down through the thumbs and the forefingers. See that the weight travels from the wrists all the way to the fingertips. Exhale, downward facing dog pose again. One more time, lower those knees down to the mat. See that the right leg extends on back. Spin the right inner foot down. Inhale, float the right arm up. So see that that right arm floats up over the head. Then glide the right fingers all the way to the front of the room. Take the right elbow, bring it to a bend. Place the right hand all the way behind the back of the right side of the head. Keep pressing that right heel down. Keep spinning the chest up towards the ceiling. So the left palm presses down to support the top of the left shoulder. Inhale, float that right arm up. Exhale, releasing that right palm down. Both knees release down to the mat. Once again, pressing up and back, downward facing dog pose. From downward facing dog pose, this time walk the feet forward to the hands. Inhale, lengthening the chest halfway up. Exhale, folding down all the way. Once again, inhale, floating the arms up towards the ceiling. Urdhva Hastasana arms as you bend the knees. Exhale, straightening through the legs as you release the arms all the way down to the sides. Good. All right, so from here, we're going to find our way onto our backs and start once again by hugging the knees into the chest. So this is our starting point of the pose. Hug those knees into the chest. Now, if you have a strap, you're going to take your strap, you're going to grab hold of it, and you're going to place the strap over the ball of your right foot. Now, if you don't have a strap, then you're going to take your hands and place them right behind the back of your right leg. And you're going to lift your right heel up towards the ceiling here. Keep lengthening the right outer hip towards the left heel. See that your left hip is also lengthening towards the left ball of the foot as well. So both back sides of the body are growing long here. Feel both shoulders retracting down towards the mat. Allow the eyes to be soft here. Allow the breath to be long and slow. So as you lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling, you may want to put a light bend in that right knee. And as you continue to breathe into the leg, maybe the shoulders draw a little bit closer towards the side ribs here. Keep lengthening the right side of the chest. Keep lengthening the left side of the chest as you breathe here. As you exhale, right knee bends. Place the right foot on the ground. Draw the left knee into the chest and take the left foot. Extend the left ball of the foot all the way up towards the ceiling here. Press the right heel down. Press the right ball of the foot down. Lengthen the left side of the buttocks all the way to the right big toe mound side of the foot. See that the left outer hip is lengthening forward. See that the right hip is drawing towards the right big toe mound of the foot. So both sit bones are lengthening here towards the backs of the heels. And then as you continue to breathe, allow the tops of the shoulder blades to retract back into the side ribs. It's okay to have a light bend in your left knee here as you breathe. Keep lengthening up through that left leg. Keep breathing. All right, exhale, release. Now, you're going to take both legs into the strap. You're going to extend both legs all the way up towards the ceiling here. So as you extend both legs up towards the ceiling, keep drawing those shoulder blades back into the center chest and breathe. So now both sit bones are lengthening all the way forward to the front of the mat. Keep allowing the backs of the shoulders to release up and in towards the center chest here. Hollow out the belly, meaning that the belly begins to draw to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, heart, sternum, and shoulders up off the mat. Exhale, lower everything down. Good. Once again, inhale, lifting up off the mat. So try not to compress the neck here. Try to use your core muscles, not your neck, to lift the chest. As you exhale, lower on down. Very nice. Bring those knees to a bent position. From here, keep the knees in a bent position and begin to take your knees off to the right side of the room. So drift those knees over to the right, release the knees on down. As you feel ready, take your right hand, place it over top of your left thigh crease, and begin to breathe into your outer left hip. Your left hip is extending all the heel. So the left hip is moving away from the body here. It's lengthening all the way out towards the right foot. And then you'll come back to center with those legs, and then you'll drift over to the other side. So now your right hip is lengthening all the way to the back heel of the left foot. Arms are out to the sides. The right side of the chest is lengthening to the right elbow. And again, back to center. Okay. So from here, release the feet down onto the mat. Grab hold of your block. So if you have two blocks, just grab hold of a block. Place the block underneath the back on the lowest setting. Just be here for a moment. This is actually called supported Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, supported bridge pose.
So from here, you're going to take the right knee into the chest again and hug that right knee in. As you do that, if you'd like, you can lengthen the left leg all the way forward to the front of the mat. This is a full stretch along the left side of the body. As you draw the right knee in, see if you can lengthen the right outer hip towards the left heel. That right hip is moving away from the body here. And then you'll draw the left knee into the chest. You'll release that right foot down and extend the right leg all the way forward. The left outer hip is moving towards the right heel now. And breathe. Good, and come back to center again. So both knees are at the center chest. Now keep your legs on the blocks. Inhale, begin to float your legs all the way up towards the ceiling here. This is called Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall, but on blocks. Supported variation. Salamba. Salamba means supported. So as you breathe here, just let those legs be lifted. If you feel any slight pinching in the back as a result of the block, it's okay to lower the legs down, but it's nice to have the legs up and over the head. It actually helps to increase the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we lift the legs up over the head, it changes the blood flow in the body. So we begin to kind of create a sense of restoration amongst the body or along the body here. Close the eyes and breathe. Continue to lengthen those legs all the way out towards the tops of the heels. Wrap the outer thighs in. Close the eyes. And then from here, bring those knees to a bent position. Lower the feet down onto the mat. You're going to release the tailbone down onto the mat. Take your left leg, cross it over the right. So Garandasana legs, release your legs again over the left side. So as you release your legs over to the left side here, just begin to breathe as you open up that left hip. So the left hip continues to open up here and breathe. Really nice twist for the hips. All right, let's take the other side. So we uncross the legs, glide the right leg over the left, and then scoot the hips over to the right as you release your hips over to the other side. And breathe here. Arms out to the sides. All right, back to center again. So now we'll take those knees into the chest. We're going to place the hands behind the back of the head. I know, guys, not our favorite, but we got to do a little bit of it. You're going to tap the right foot down to the floor and draw the right knee to the chest. You're going to tap the left foot down to the floor and draw the knee to the chest. Tap the right foot down, draw knee to chest. Tap the left foot down, draw knee to chest. So as you continue to alternate here, keep seeing if you can lift the chest up any amount more and allow the outer shoulders to wrap towards the elbows. So you are supporting the head here. You're not putting any pressure in the neck. You're just tapping the feet right and left. This should also be suitable for the low back as well. If you want more here, what you could do is extend the leg fully forward and draw the leg in. And extend the other leg fully forward and draw that leg in. So this is just a way to kind of increase more strength in the abdominal muscles. Now the abdominal muscles are very important because they help to protect all the abdominal organs. And our abdominal organs are most of the organs in the body. So it's very important that we protect the abdominal organs here. They're vital organs, right? Just like the lungs and the heart, there's a lot of vital organs within the belly. All right, and then from here, hug the knees into the chest. And then from here, you'll release the feet down onto the mat. You'll roll onto your side and press your way on up. So from here, we're going to come into a seated position, and we'll come into Ardha Matsyendrasana. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hips, release them all the way down, buttocks, flesh releases all the way down towards these blocks. And then you're going to take the right leg and cross the right leg over the left, just like this. So the right leg's on top of the left. And you're going to take both hands and you're going to bring both arms over to your left side. So the right hand comes into the center chest here and the left hand spins back behind you. This is the open variation of the pose. So this is variation number 1 of the pose, Ardha Matsyendrasana, version number 1. Good. And then from here, you'll come back to center. Let's take both of those legs off to the sides. Let's drift our chest over to the left side one more time. If you want here, you could take your left hand and place it behind your back so that it grabs onto the outer side of your right hip. Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. This is called Bhujangalyasana. Bharaj Vajrasana pose. Sorry. It's called Bharaj Vajrasana pose. It's the name of a sage or a saint in India who would always take this pose. Very good for the abdomen, very good for the back muscles. All right, let's come back to center. Sweep the legs over to the other side and change. So we take our legs over, we bring our right foot back, we bring our left foot over, just like this, and then we set up for the other side of the pose. So as you feel ready, you'll take your left palm, you'll place it over top, you'll take your right hand, you'll bring it on back, and then you'll breathe here. So Viraj Vajrasana to start on this side. So breathe into those hips. This is a great pose for the hips. It's a nice stretch of the hips. Release the left buttocks down. Lift the left side of the chest up. So it's a nice little stretch along the left side of the body as well. Now you're going to keep that. You're going to take the right leg, bring it on forward, and take the right foot and place it over top of the left thigh. So now you grab hold of this leg. Scratch that. I don't know how I got that way. Okay, sorry about that. You're going to instead take the right leg below the left leg, and then you're going to take your left foot over the right foot. Yeah, this way. All right, and then from here, twist over to that side. I'm sorry about that. So that pose that I was just doing right there, that's Ardha Matsyendrasana 2. So this is Ardha Matsyendrasana 1. We just turn the chest towards the open leg, just like we did on the other side. All right, and then from here, as you feel ready, we're going to come into Virasana pose or Hero's pose. So you're going to take yourself, sit onto your block. I actually changed the setting of my block to a higher setting just to support my knees here. Now take your hands to your sides. We're going to do a little bit of pranayama today. So pranayama is a breath work in the body. So I thought a cool practice that we could do is called Kapalabhati, or breath of fire. Now, breath of fire is a technique that is very good for boosting our immune system. It's very good for restoring energy back into the body. So the time right now for those of us who are East Coast practitioners is, right around 3:45. Time for us, if at the West Coast, maybe you may want to pass on this practice. It's an energizing practice. Not a good practice for the evening time, but a good practice for the middle of the day, just so that we get through for another few hours or so. From here, you're going to just start by becoming aware of your nose breathing. So even if you're practicing, it's a night practice, just close your eyes and just be with your breath. So you could just enjoy meditation for the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands to your belly and you're going to pulse the belly in like this. So do that with your mouth. Just kind of go and let the air move out of your mouth. You're going to do that same technique, but just using your nostrils. So it's like this. And it's going to be consistent here. So make sure you have a tissue. Maybe you have your essential oil tissue. You could breathe that in. It smells really nice. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to pulse the belly and you're going to let the air move out of the nostrils. You don't have to worry about the in-breath. The in-breath happens naturally. You just have to worry about the out-breath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then just let the breath be long and slow. So this is a breathing technique really good for the morning, really good for the middle of the day. Evening time, not so much. Evening time, you may want to do the alternate nostril breathing, but you don't want to do the breath of fire, this breath that we're doing right now. Actually, I think
Kapalabhati may be alternate nostril. I can't even remember anymore. So this may be called Bhastrika, or the breath of fire. It may be called Bhastrika. All right, so from here, we're going to do that again. So I'll do it with you. Ready? Let's go. All right, and then just let your breathing, natural breathing go. If you guys have ever been to heated yoga, sometimes they do this at the end of the practice. Do you ever hear that breathing technique? 1, 2, 3. That breathing technique is the same as this breathing technique. The breath of fire technique. All right, let's do it again. Ready? Lift the chest, lift the heart, lift the sternum. Let's go together. Nice, and then just let your breathing be natural. All right, just let that breathing be natural. Now we're going to do some Kapalabhati, alternate nostril breathing. You're going to take your 2 fingers, your pointer finger and your middle finger, you're going to draw them in towards the center palm. You're going to take your other 2 fingers, your ring finger and your pinky finger, you're going to cross them over one another. And then you're going to take your fingers to your nose. You're going to cover up your left nostril and breathe in here. And then you're going to breathe out. You're going to breathe in. And you're going to breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. All right, let's go to the other nostril. So now you're going to cover up the right. Breathe in. And you're going to breathe out. You're going to breathe in. And breathe out. You're going to breathe in. And you're going to breathe out. All right, release your nostrils. And just let your breath be normal. Okay, now we're going to combine that. Alternate nostril breathing, either nostril. Then we're going to do one more breathing technique of the Bhastrika. Okay, so ready? Inhale through the left. Inhale through the right. So cover up the left. Inhale through the right. Cover up the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Cover up the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Cover up the right. Exhale through the left. Release the hands. Just let the breath be long and slow here. Good. So once again, cover up the fingers, bring the hands down in. So you're going to cover up this time the right. You're going to breathe in through the left. You're going to cover up the left and breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Cover up the left. Breathe in through the left. Cover up the right. One more time. Breathe in through the right. Cover up the left. All right, release. I don't know. I may have done that in reverse this time. And just breathing in here. All right. One more round of Bhastrika. So as you feel ready, let's begin together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. And release. Okay, so from here, we're going to remove this bolster. We're going to find our way onto our buttocks again, and you're going to release the hips all the way down onto the mat. One more time, hips release all the way down. Hug those knees into the chest here. Breathe. All right. So from here, you're going to take your left leg, bring it underneath your right. You're going to grab hold of your shins this time. Grab hold of your shins and begin to allow your legs to release. So you're not even worrying about your legs. You're just holding onto your shins
you're letting your hips kind of drift away from one another. So the left hip is drawing towards the right shin, the right hip is drawing towards the left shin, and that allows for the hips to open up. It allows the pelvis if this pose is done correctly. And then from here, you'll draw those knees back to center. You'll uncross the legs. You'll take the right leg over the left. As far in as you can bring the legs. If you can't bring the legs in at all, that's fine. Just place your hands on top of the knees and breathe here. Otherwise, if you can bring your hands all the way down your shins, you may want to drift your knees away from the body here to open up the hips. So as you draw in here, the belly button draws in, down towards the floor. Both shoulders release back, down towards the floor as well. All right, knees draw to the chest. One more time. Hug those knees in. Hug those knees in. Hug those knees in. Take happy baby pose. Grab hold of the big toe mounds of the feet. Draw the heels up towards the ceiling. So lengthen your inner legs all the way out towards your heels. Draw your outer hips towards, or your outer heels down towards the outer hips, and breathe here. All right, and then from here, you're going to release the feet down to the floor. If you have two blocks, place your blocks on either side of the feet. Supta Padangusthasana. So you're going to take your blocks. You're going to place a block under each knee. If you don't have two blocks, you could use straps. You could use blankets. You could use pillows. You could use books if you stack some books up. There's so many options. You could use anything really, as long as your knees are at an angle. And then you just release the arms out to the sides here. The palms can come up over the head, or the palms can come to the sides. Now, if you have that essential oil, and maybe it's something like lavender, or maybe lemon, you could place that over the nose and breathe here. And if at all the smell becomes too much, you can just place the oil back to the side of the body and breathe. Eventually, you're going to let those legs drift on forward. The legs are going to turn out away from one another, and you're going to breathe here. And just release here for another moment. If you'd like, take the arms to the sides. If you have any low back troubles right now, maybe consider placing a pillow or a blanket underneath your legs. It's a great option. Try to let yourself come into Shavasana without having any things touching your hands or your feet, if you can. If not, it's okay. But as long as you can relax fully, that's the whole design of Shavasana. So as long as you feel fully relaxed, then you're okay. And maybe it is relaxing to have a gentle touch as well. I've had that in my yoga class, and it feels good, even when I've been lying in Shavasana for other teachers. Just that release, gentle release.
One more time, bring those knees into a bent position. Roll the body weight onto the side. Use your top hand, gently press your way up. And find yourself back into a seated position once again. So as we come into a seated position, close the eyes, let the breath be long and slow. Take the hands to the center chest. As we exhale, release the chin to the chest. Inhale, lifting the head, gently open the eyes. Namaste, guys. So thank you guys so much for being here. Dan and Gail, thank you guys so much as always. This has been a very nice integrative wellness class. So integrative wellness, we do this every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. If you guys are watching on another platform, if you want to stick around for another moment, I do my closing. So feel free to stick around for another moment as I close the class properly. All right, so thank you guys so much again. This has been an honor to share share this integrative wellness class with you guys. My name is Jason Gorenstein. We do this class every weekday at 3 p.m. So every weekday at 3 p.m. Really cool. We're now up on YouTube, so all videos will be streamed on YouTube after they're live on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube right now, please, please, please like my Facebook page at Yoga with Jason G. That's at Yoga with Jason G. That way you can find out about these classes and these videos. Oh, amazing, Gail. So nice, as always, to have you a part of the practice as well. Oh, Anne, amazing. All right. This is a good class. All right, very cool. So, yeah, we're doing lots of good work here. Thumbs up if you like the class. Heart sign if you really like the class. I love the comments, and it's amazing to hear from you as well. If you guys want to share the page, feel free to share the page. Anybody else that's watching, if you guys feel like contributing anything, there's a Venmo, so that's something that is pretty cool. Lets me keep doing these videos. Also, once again, join me on YouTube, join me on Facebook, find me anywhere. So guys, have a fantastic rest of your day, and amazing to see you here. I love the rainbows, and I love the flowers as well. Hibiscus flowers and rainbows to me sounds like paradise, so I definitely look forward to that. And Gail, have an amazing day. I hope to see Dan and you tomorrow as well. Whoever else is joining us, I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day. And like I said, live streaming classes every single weekday. So we've been doing this for a couple months. Now we're getting a little bit more consistent with it, really getting the classes out there. So it's been very cool. And I hope that you guys have a phenomenal day. I'll be here tomorrow. Thank you guys so much, and namaste, guys. Thanks again. Thank you, guys.